Hi y'all, happy Friday. I wanted to come on here just for a little bit and just talk about self-care. I've been really embracing all these self-care practices, as I like to call them, on my healing journey. I've talked in my other videos about how I'm working on healing from uh, my traumatic different events in my life, which have happened throughout my life on as they call them, big traumas and little traumas. And some of the little traumas built up over time, and then you have the big traumas. There's just so much to trauma. So anyway, I wanted to come on here not to discuss all that. I just wanted to talk about some of my self-care practices that I've been implementing. I've been doing more things for myself. As you can see, I straightened my hair and I haven't done that in forever, so I'm liking that. I actually initially was doing it because I need to trim my hair, so I'm going to be doing that soon, not today. But I also wanted to say that I've been doing a lot of meditation, a lot of self-loving things like actually Danette May's program. She's got a lot of different, that detox that I did, the 3-day, 2 detoxes that I did. She has a couple different meditations, and one of them, right off the top of my head, is loving myself unconditionally and letting all the bad stories and the things that I've told myself or been told to me and letting them all go, letting them out of my body. Just having that positive uh, mental attitude and mindset actually really helps the body, because the body takes in what we give it. It's like a plant. The plant takes in everything that you give it. You know, whether you water it or not, whether you water it enough, whether you don't. We are like that plant. All living things require the proper individual care. So it's all about self-care, and that's why I'm emphasizing that. And so those meditations are really beautiful, and just taking in simple meditations saying, I am happy. I am doesn't mean that we're going to be happy throughout our entire day. It just means we're using some of these principles to help our body get more into the parasympathetic system instead of the sympathetic system, because we're always on the go, we're always just doing so much, and we're not focusing on being, and that is so important. And I've really embraced this really within the last 10 years of my life, maybe a little less, probably more like 5 or 6, since 2015. So it's just more about this, and that was after I lost my dad, and that's really my why, where I am coming from with all this health and wellness that I'm all about. You know, I want to know the root cause of things. I don't want to just be told something and that's the end of it. And that's been my personality for years. But I'm digressing, and it's great. I can digress. You know, that's my prerogative, right? So, but I've also been really embracing, I love this product. It's raw cacao. It's Cacao Bliss, and I have it probably once or twice a day, and it really helps um, with just anxiety, with mood, and hormones, you know, the hormonal balance, which I talk about a lot because, you know, I'm a woman and we deal with emotions and hormones. And hormones have to do with everything in the human body. So that's part of it. Meditations, doing my hair, which I haven't done in forever, and just making myself feel good on the inside, because that is how beauty is cultivated. You know, however we look on the outside, I think man is manifested by what we take care of and what we do on the inside. It comes from within, not to sound trite or like some limerick out there, but it is reality. You beauty comes from in here, and just feeling love for myself. And really, what I've been doing is a lot of movement by Danette May. She does a lot of Pilates, and and that was part of that 3-day detox. And just while you're doing the movement, she says all these different affirmative things, like while you're doing the movement, you're taking in all the positivity, all the good things about yourself, and letting go of all the bad things. Like I've said in prior posts, letting go of all the toxic sludge or garbage, taking out the trash. And that's okay. We go through these things and we let them go. But it's all about embracing, when I did the movements in those 3D detoxes, and I've also continued doing them following the detoxes. And sorry, I'm not used to this hair. And by doing that, you're really embracing this whole mindset of cleaning the body and embracing your best, the most optimal health that you can have. And just light begets light, life begets life. And like when I was talking about the plant, when we nourish the plant, when we nourish our inside, and we sometimes say no to things that are too much for us, whatever that may be. For me, because I'm a sensitive person, I was sharing this with one of my friends the other day, and she shared something that was really, really meant a lot, and it really resonated with me. And she talked about being a very sensitive person, and she was that way as a child, and she still is. Being a sensitive child is not a deficit. It's actually a gift. And for years, I always felt different and whatnot, and for how many different reasons. There was a lot of different things that happened throughout my childhood, good, bad, some ugly, and it is what it is. I don't feel, I've worked through those things, and I'm currently working through some things that happened to me, throughout my adult life, young adult and older as well. I mean, there's so many different developmental stages in our life. And for a long time, I was at a younger emotional developmental stage because of all the sexual abuse, the domestic violence, the sexual assault, all those different things. And I'm really embracing all the self-care. So as I've gone full circle around the movement that I used in Danette May's program, she really talks a lot about how you can really just, it's all about embracing this mindset. And when we do this mindset on a daily basis, and when we set intentions, I set intentions pretty much every time I've done this program, every time I've done this practice, I should say, my self-care practices, where I choose an intention when I do the movement, the Pilates, which happens to be Pilates, or she calls it Pilates Fusion, and I take that and I set an intention before I even begin, before I warm up. And working out isn't always about doing a real intense workout. It's about it's like working smart, same kind of idea there, that's the best analogy I can think of. But she talks about how you can, set an intention. So what I've been doing is I set an intention because throughout my life, I've had like I've shared in other posts, I've struggled with self-esteem. So I focus on self-acceptance and loving myself more and just saying I'm enough, I'm worth it. So just that self-acceptance. And like I said, I'm repeating myself, but it happens anyway. So, and just not being so hard on myself, accepting myself. So it's pretty cool to just kind of embrace this on a day-to-day basis, and just using those meditations and growing from that and expanding from that, because it was always so hard to do a meditation or to set aside some time just for myself. So it's really a beautiful thing, and I just wanted to share it. And I wanted to just share some of the things I do, the meditation, the movement, and setting an intention for myself, which has been acceptance and just loving myself more, embracing this new phase in my life, which is a good one. And Frank and I just celebrated our 10-year meeting in anniversary, and it's amazing. I feel like I've known him so much longer than that. I mean, it is a long time. So, but it's amazing, and I would have never met him in my past if I hadn't stepped out of my own comfort zone. And now I'm digressing about some of my life, but back then I was unemployed and I was working 2 part-time jobs I eventually got. And it was interesting. I almost took on a third job. This was when I was in my 30s. And anyway, I ended up, this was when I was living in Chicago. I ended up, and this was following some other losses in my life, which were pretty heavy traumas. They were more big T's. That was following the domestic violence and some other very serious losses, which I can talk about another time. And I was unemployed, and I then got those 2 different jobs. And I actually did some research, and at the time, the job market was really not good. And so I actually applied to an airline, and I ended up getting the job. And the job actually, as all of you probably know, it entails traveling. And being in the air. And I have always struggled with heights, so I had to do that. So it was pretty interesting. So, but that is the point of what I'm saying, is that's how I met Frank, and that's my honey. And that's the guy in all the pictures yesterday with me. So it's been an amazing ride, and I met a couple of really dear friends of mine back then too, who are like family to me. So, and of course Frank is my family. So just means a lot. And that just shows how, there's good in the bad. And that's one perfect example of that, is that in all my hardship back then, and some of these things, struggles, go in ebbs and flows. Hopefully not peaks and valleys. Sometimes those happen, but ebbs and flows, those are those are manageable. But anyway, it's like I got a whole new life. So the last 10 years have been really good. There've been a lot of ups and downs, but you know what? I have a really good life with my honey now, and it's good. We grow as people, and that's an amazing thing too. I've grown so much. So I just want to thank my honey. I want to thank my 2 really close friends. I want to really thank the Facebook community that I've met on this journey of my healing too. You guys have been amazing too. So love y'all. Take care, and take care of yourself. That's the number one thing that I want to share today. And I kind of went all over the place, but it happens. Love y'all. Have a nice weekend. Check out Amy's Lifestyle Corner Cafe. Bye now.